Order is not just about tidiness. It's a declaration to the universe that you are ready for more when you put things in their proper place. You're not just arranging objects, you're aligning energy. Chaos creates resistance while order creates flow. When your surroundings are chaotic, your mind becomes cluttered and clarity disappears. But when you begin to organize your life, your focus sharpens, your thinking clears, and your energy begins to move in a straight line toward progress. Order is not about perfection, it's about preparation. You are preparing the ground for growth. Think about it. If a farmer never organizes his fields, he cannot expect a harvest. He must first prepare the soil, remove the weeds, and plant in rows. That's what organization does for your life. It prepares your soil. It removes distractions that choke your potential. It helps you see exactly what's growing and what needs to be uprooted. Without that preparation, even the best seeds, your ideas, your goals, your gifts, cannot grow to their full potential. Order is a sign of stewardship. It shows that you are taking responsibility for what you already have before asking for more. Many people pray for abundance, but they can't even manage what's already in their hands. When you organize your finances, your time, and your priorities, you are proving that you can handle increase. It's not that blessings aren't available, it's that blessings require structure. Abundance doesn't flow into confusion, it flows into alignment. When your life is disorganized, you constantly live in reaction mode. You spend energy putting out fires instead of building something meaningful. Every day feels like survival instead of strategy. But when you bring order into your schedule, your actions start to compound. Small, consistent steps begin to produce visible results. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. You begin to experience the peace that comes from knowing exactly what needs your attention and what doesn't. Order also builds confidence. When you live in confusion, you second guess yourself because nothing feels stable. But when your life has structure, you move differently. You speak with authority because you know where you're going and how you're getting there. Each organized area of your life, your mindset, your goals, your habits, becomes a pillar of strength that supports your confidence. Confidence doesn't come from luck, it comes from clarity, and clarity is born from order. Disorder drains your energy. Every piece of clutter, physical or mental, demands attention. It whispers that something is unfinished, something is forgotten, something is out of place. You might not notice it consciously, but it steals your focus and weakens your productivity. That's why so many people feel tired even when they haven't done much. Their energy is scattered because their environment is scattered. Bringing order back into your life is how you reclaim that lost energy and redirect it toward your purpose. Order also brings peace. There's something powerful about walking into a space where everything is where it belongs. It tells your mind that it's safe to rest, safe to think, safe to create. You can't build peace in chaos. You have to create a system that supports peace. Whether it's your workspace, your finances, or your daily routine, order is what allows calmness to exist. Peace doesn't visit randomly, it's invited through discipline and structure. When you create order, you make room for creativity. You can't hear new ideas when your mind is noisy. You can't receive inspiration when you're surrounded by disorder. But once you put things in place, once you clean your mental and physical space, creativity begins to flow naturally. Ideas connect. Vision expands. You start seeing opportunities that were always there, but hidden beneath confusion. Organization opens the channel for divine ideas to reach you. Order multiplies time. When your day is structured, you waste less energy making small, meaningless decisions. You no longer spend hours searching for things or trying to remember what you forgot. Every minute becomes more valuable because it's spent intentionally. Time management is not about doing more, it's about making more room for what truly matters. When you know exactly where your focus should be, progress accelerates. And finally, order attracts growth. Everything in life moves towards structure. The moment you bring order into your habits, your mindset, your finances, your environment, everything around you begins to expand. You start seeing results, not because you worked harder, but because you worked smarter. The energy that was once scattered begins to move in one direction, toward increase. Order is not the enemy of success, it is the foundation of it. Discipline is the foundation upon which true success is built. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you'll feel inspired, but most days you won't, and it's in those moments when your emotions don't cooperate that discipline must take the lead. Discipline is the act of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the quiet power that keeps you moving forward long after the excitement has faded. Those who master discipline don't wait for the right mood. They create the right moves. Motivation can get you started, but it can't keep you consistent. People often wait for the perfect moment to begin, when they feel ready, when the timing feels right. But waiting for motivation is waiting for permission to stay the same. Discipline doesn't wait. Discipline starts with what you have, where you are, and builds from there. It shows up even when the conditions aren't ideal. It pushes through the discomfort, the tiredness, the uncertainty, because it knows that consistent effort compounds over time. When you live by discipline, you take control of your results. You stop being ruled by your emotions and start being guided by your principles. Your actions stop depending on how you feel in the moment and start aligning with what you know is right. Discipline trains your mind to value long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort. It teaches you to think beyond today, to act for the future version of yourself that you're becoming. Motivation gives you energy for the start. Discipline gives you endurance for the journey. Discipline builds character. Every time you force yourself to follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your integrity. You begin to trust yourself more deeply because your words and actions finally agree. There's a confidence that comes from keeping your own promises. You stop being a person who just talks about goals and become someone who executes them. Discipline turns your intentions into habits, and habits are what build your future. The small things you do daily, especially when you don't feel like it, are shaping your destiny. When you rely on motivation, you live in cycles of inconsistency. You work hard for a few days, then slow down when the feeling fades. But when discipline takes over, momentum replaces emotion. You stop starting over because you stop stopping. You understand that progress is not about massive bursts of energy, but about steady, deliberate effort over time. The people who win in life aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the most consistent. They simply refuse to quit when everyone else did. Discipline also protects your vision. Without it, distractions will steal your focus. The world is full of noise, temptation, and endless detours. But discipline keeps your eyes fixed on the goal. It helps you say no to what's good so you can say yes to what's great. Every act of self-control is an investment in your future. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to ignore what doesn't serve you. You begin to see clearly what matters, and that clarity saves you years of wasted effort. Discipline strengthens your relationship with time. When you're disciplined, you stop treating time as something you have and start treating it as something you manage. You stop rushing and start prioritizing. You begin to see each hour as a seed that can grow into something meaningful. You plan your days with purpose instead of living by reaction. This shift in mindset allows you to maximize every moment because discipline gives direction to your time. Discipline is also a form of self-respect. When you commit to structure, routine, and consistency, you're sending a message to yourself that your goals matter. You stop settling for average and start demanding excellence from yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. You stop blaming circumstances and start taking ownership. You stop wishing for a better life and start building one brick by brick through daily disciplined action. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it becomes easier with time. What feels hard in the beginning eventually becomes natural. The habits that once required effort start to happen automatically. The mind begins to crave order. The body begins to respond to consistency, and your life starts to reflect that internal alignment. Discipline eventually becomes your new normal. And once that happens, you become unstoppable. Discipline transforms effort into excellence. It takes the ordinary and turns it into mastery. It's the invisible force behind every success story, the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet decisions to keep going when no one is watching. Discipline is not glamorous, but it's powerful. It builds strength in silence and produces results in public. It's the unseen foundation that holds up everything great you will ever achieve. Your environment is a mirror that reflects the condition of your inner world. The way you manage your surroundings often reveals the way you manage your thoughts, emotions, and priorities. When your environment is cluttered, it's not just your space that's disorganized, it's your focus, your mindset, and your clarity that suffer. Every object out of place sends a silent signal to your mind that something is unfinished. But when you bring order into your environment, your spirit begins to calm. The external reflects the internal, and as your surroundings align, your thinking aligns too. You can't build a powerful life in a chaotic space. The energy around you either supports your vision or suffocates it. your room, your workspace, your digital environment, they all speak to your level of preparation. A person with a clear vision creates an atmosphere that supports that vision. You can't expect abundance in an atmosphere of disorder. You can't expect growth when your environment screams confusion. When you take control of your surroundings, you begin to take control of your destiny. Your environment has a voice. It whispers to you every day, whether you realize it or not. It either says you're behind or you're in control. That's why it's so important to build an environment that speaks success, peace, and progress into your life. If your surroundings are full of distractions, your focus weakens. If your surroundings are filled with inspiration, your ambition rises. You are constantly being shaped by the atmosphere you live in, and that's why you must design it intentionally. A focused person doesn't just set goals, they set environments. They make sure their space reflects the life they are building, not the one they are trying to escape. Your home should inspire peace. Your desk should encourage focus. Your schedule should represent your priorities. Everything around you should point toward where you're going, not where you've been. When your environment reflects your destiny, your actions naturally begin to align with it. There is spiritual power in alignment. When your external world and internal vision are synchronized, things begin to move faster. You stop feeling scattered and start feeling centered. You begin to sense that your life is in rhythm, that your energy flows in one direction, forward. That's not by chance, that's by design. Every great transformation begins with the decision to align what you see with what you believe. When your environment supports your goals, your mind stops fighting against itself. Many people underestimate how much their environment influences their emotions. The things you look at every day become the background music of your life. Mess creates stress, and peace creates focus. You can't feel free in a space that drains you. You can't think clearly in a place that constantly reminds you of what you haven't finished. When you organize your space, you lighten your emotional load. You create room for peace, creativity, and productivity to flourish. Your environment also shapes your habits. If you want to change your life, start by changing what surrounds you daily. A healthy environment makes discipline easier. When everything has a place and everything is in its place, decisions become automatic. You don't have to fight with yourself to stay consistent because your surroundings guide your actions. The right environment eliminates friction and makes the right choices simple. Your destiny deserves an environment that matches its greatness. You can't expect to think big while living small. The energy of your surroundings affects the energy of your thoughts. When you're surrounded by order, beauty, and purpose, your creativity expands. You start seeing yourself differently. You begin to feel worthy of more, capable of more, and responsible for more. The environment you create today sets the tone for the level you're about to rise to. Every detail in your environment tells a story. The state of your desk, the organization of your schedule, the way you care for your space. These things are not random. They are reflections of self-respect and intention. When you care for your surroundings, you are indirectly caring for your future. The discipline of maintaining order becomes a daily reminder that you are serious about your purpose, your peace, and your progress. When you align your environment with your destiny, you create a foundation for growth. Everything you see, touch, and hear should contribute to your forward movement. The books on your shelf, the notes on your wall, the cleanliness of your space, they all send messages to your subconscious mind about who you are and what you value. Your surroundings should not just be a place you live in. They should be a place that lifts you, shapes you, and prepares you for the life you are called to live. Clarity is one of the most powerful forms of strength a person can possess, and organization is what gives birth to it. When your life is scattered, your mind becomes foggy. You spend more time trying to figure out what to do than actually doing it. Confusion breeds hesitation, and hesitation kills progress. But when you take time to organize your thoughts, your plans, and your space, clarity begins to rise like sunlight breaking through the fog. It doesn't just make things neat, it makes things possible. Disorganization creates invisible weight. It clouds your decisions, drains your focus, and amplifies stress. You begin to feel overwhelmed, not because you have too much to do, but because everything feels tangled together. When your environment and schedule are in chaos, your thoughts follow. But when you bring structure into your day, when you plan your priorities and create order around your goals, the noise starts to fade. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. Clarity gives you power because it allows you to see what truly matters. When everything around you is organized, distractions lose their control. You stop chasing every opportunity that appears and start focusing only on the ones that align with your purpose. You begin to understand that saying yes to everything is the same as saying no to your destiny. Organization filters out the unnecessary so you can give your best energy to what actually produces growth. When confusion dominates your life, you move in circles. You spend your days busy but not productive, tired but not fulfilled. Organization breaks that cycle. It simplifies decisions and gives direction to your effort. It helps you focus your energy on what moves you forward instead of what merely fills your time. Once you get organized, you start to feel lighter, not because the work disappears, but because the path becomes clear. Clarity also builds peace of mind. When you know where things are, when you know what needs to be done, and when you have a plan to get there, anxiety loses its grip. You no longer wake up feeling behind. You stop carrying mental clutter because your systems carry it for you. Peace is not the absence of work. It's the presence of order. When you have order, you can think clearly, act decisively, and rest confidently knowing that everything has a place and a time. Organization is a form of self-respect. It tells your mind that you value your time, your purpose, and your potential. When you take control of your environment and your schedule, you're telling yourself that your goals deserve structure. You're acknowledging that your dreams are worth managing with excellence. Confusion may be comfortable, but clarity is powerful. And that power grows every time you choose to create order over chaos. When you get organized, you start seeing opportunities that were hidden before. Disorganization blinds you. Clarity reveals direction. The moment you can see clearly, you can move confidently, you can plan strategically, you can execute effectively. Success doesn't require perfection, it requires precision, and precision only comes from a clear, organized mind. Every great leader, builder, and creator operates from clarity because confusion costs energy, and energy is too expensive to waste. Clarity also strengthens your decision-making. When your thoughts are organized, choices become simpler. You stop overthinking every move because you already know what aligns with your purpose and what doesn't. Indecision is a symptom of disorganization. But when your priorities are clear, your decisions become automatic. You act faster, trust yourself more, and spend less time doubting what you already know is right. Organization doesn't just change how you think, it changes how you feel. It creates a flow in your day. You move from task to task with rhythm instead of resistance. You stop fighting against time and start moving with it. You no longer feel trapped by your responsibilities because you have structure that gives each one a place. Clarity removes the chaos from your thoughts and replaces it with confidence in your direction. When confusion leaves, creativity enters. The moment your life becomes organized, your mind opens. Ideas that were once buried under mental clutter start to surface. You begin to dream again, plan again, and believe again. The energy that was wasted on managing disorder gets redirected into building vision. Organization is not about control. It's about creation. It gives your mind the space it needs to imagine, to innovate, and to become everything it was meant to be.